are back on the scene.
So, uh, Pyke just got revealed, and instead of doing the normal meme garbage that I do on this channel, low effort meme garbage, I'm gonna be let's talk about Pyke. Let's talk about his abilities, how I think they'll mesh with, the current league meta, how I think, you know, his overall character adds to the lore as a whole. And let's talk about how wrong I am on all of these fronts and how people are gonna yell at me. The people who actually watch this shit. Okay, so, Pyke is the Bloodharbor Ripper. Abandoned by his crew to the leviathans of the deep, Pyke drowned, but didn't stay dead. Years later, a fabled revenant known as the Bloodharbor Ripper still stalks the slaughter docks, crossing names off of a list that never seems to end. Wait, you look familiar. So, he's from Bilgewater. He's got the Bilgewater aesthetic, teals, pirate garb, bones, serrated weapons, that kind of shit. Um, but he's also got like Alawi aspects of him, and you'll see that later. He's kind of like a mesh of both, and he's basically just this, Jack the Ripper of Bilgewater. Everybody's on his list. Everybody's guilty. Everybody's gonna die, because he's just like that. Look at him. He's also, fun fact, the third Afro-American character in League of Legends. We have Lucian, we have Echo, and now we have Pyke. Pyke is Afro-American, so congratulations. Um, let's get into his abilities. Passive. Gift of the Drowned Ones. When Pyke is unseen by enemies, oh, that's fucking loud. When Pyke is unseen by enemies, he rapidly regenerates some of the health recently lost to enemy champions. Pyke also converts his bonus health into bonus attack damage instead. So this is actually a really big one. Riot is implementing the Grey Health system that they did with Tom Kench into Pyke's kit, but instead of converting that into a shield, he just converts that into straight up just health. It's kind of like Rengar, but he just does it passively. But the real big thing is this: Pyke converts his bonus health into bonus attack damage. So you can build him Bruiser, and he's just gonna, he's gonna hit hard. But he has that's the stipulation. He hits hard, but he's a squishy fucker. He's not gonna get. I'm assuming all the health he gets is from level ups, because bonus health is converted into attack damage, much like Jin's crit chance, movement speed, and attack speed are converted into damage. But all in all, this provides Pyke with, the sustain that he needs. Granted, he's not going to be able to get any bonus health from the items that he builds, so this is, it's kind of needed with this sort of interaction. But let's move on to the Q. Bone Skewer. It's got a tap and a hold effect, so it's like Warwick's Q. Tap, Pyke stabs and greatly slows all enemies in front of him. And the hold, Pyke readies and then throws his harpoon, impaling the first enemy struck and pulling them a fixed distance towards him. So, you can say it one more time. That's the hold. Just yoinks him over, kind of like Nautilus. And then that's just, a slow. So the Q, when you hold it down, it only hits one champion, or not champion, it only hits one enemy. It can't hit minions. You can fuck this up. But the tap is just, again, the tap is just quick, slow. Um, and when you do use the hold function, it will throw them, like it says, a fixed distance. So if you're right up next to them and you hold them, and you do the hold Q, it'll actually whip them behind you. Like, so if you have your teammates behind you, you can whip them into your team. Um, this, it's kind of like, I compare it to Nautilus's Q, but just like better in almost every regard. Um, it's good damage. It looks like. I don't know the ratios on it. Nobody knows the ratios on it yet. Not until he's going to be released on the PBE. But it seems like it does pretty decent damage. This is a level 11 Pyke, I'm assuming, with no items, and it's dealing, you know, pretty decent damage to creeps. I feel like I'm seeing right here, it does decrease damage. See, the creep in the front takes the most, and then the creep in the back takes the least amount of damage out of all three. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not, maybe it's just, you know, some dumb shit. I don't know. But let's move on to the W. Ghost Water Dive. Pyke dives into spectral waters, entering camouflage and gaining significant increase to his movement speed that decays over a few seconds. Camouflage hides Pyke from view while enemies remain outside his immediate area. Attacking or casting spells immediately ends camouflage. So it's camouflage. It's like a Twitch camouflage. It's like an Evelyn camouflage. It's just camouflage. It works the exact same way. You know, control wards can't detect. They can detect you rather. I'm sorry. And if you get too close to an enemy, they're gonna see you. But this sort of, you know, really sinks in the fact that he is a new breed of support. He's an assassin support. He can do what Twitch does in lane. He can kite around the enemy and then sneak attack them. And he does have the damage output to sustain himself. But again, he's really, really squishy. If we go back here, you know, bonus attack damage instead, that's a big thing. But I'm interested to see how Ghost Water Dive incorporates with the rest of his kit, because the rest of his kit, this is honestly like the weakest portion of his kit, let's be honest here. It does help you position better in lane. I feel like, especially in a solo lane, this is just like not as useful as it would be in the bot lane, where, you know, your enemies are more stubborn and they want to stick around in CS. You can easily just use this to fool an enemy into thinking you've gone away, and then just loop around and hit him from the back. E, Phantom Undertow. Pyke dashes, leaving behind a drowned Phantom. After a delay, the Phantom returns to Pyke, damaging and stunning enemies it passes through. So think an Aurelia E, but better. Like 10 times better, because not only is it a movement ability, but the stun is longer, it seems like, and you can redirect it like that. So if you miss it the first time and you know you're gonna be able to hit it with a short distance flash, you know, just hit him up. This this is really good. This seems like a really, really good ability, just in terms of just everything. It's an AoE stun on top of, you know, your hard CC in the form of the Bone Skewer. You know, it's just, the synergy here is immense. And when paired with someone else, nothing really comes to mind. Maybe Jhin, someone who has, you know, burst potential. Tristana comes to mind, Twitch comes to mind. Maybe even Corki. Maybe Corki will be a good, I don't know, but I'm just judging based off of, you know, what we have now, which is almost everything except the ratios. But the real icing on the cake, you know, all these abilities, they're good in their own right, you know, except for maybe W. W's sort of the weakest link here, in my opinion. But let's take a look at look at his ultimate. Death from below. Pyke strikes in an X-shaped area, blinking to champions and executing those below a certain flat amount of health. Enemies in the X that are not executed take damage equal to this amount. When a champion, that's you know, that's pretty good. But when a champion dies in the X, the last ally to assist also gains full kill gold and Pyke can instantly use Death from Below again for a short period of time. This is fucking crazy. This is, you know, we have a reset top laner, we got the reset mid laners, hell, we even got the reset ADCs and the reset jungles. Now, we got a fucking reset support, okay? Death from Below. The hitbox is kind of weird, I guess, but, you know, it's an AoE execute. You can't get much fucking better than that. And instead of, you know, having to apply stacks like Darius has to, or like, you know, put any effort into getting your reset, you just, it's a blink, so you're going straight to them. There's no dash, there's nothing that can be interrupted. So, you know, it's a flat health threshold. I'm assuming it's gonna be, you know, like the... Actually, I think that's it, right? There is an indicator on the actual health bar, so it makes it even fucking easier. I hope they incorporate... I hope they incorporate that shit into Cho'Gath as well, because the little circle around Cho'Gath's victims isn't really a dead giveaway, especially when you're in a crowded group. But there is, you know, there's an indicator on the champion's health bar, as in, hey, you can kill this fucker immediately. And it's also true damage. So you're dealing damage equal to the threshold damage if they're not at the threshold yet. So that's really, really fucking good. But on top of that, also gains full kill gold. That is a big fucking thing. Your ADC can be 0 and 10, and you can be... Or actually, no, not 0 and 10. Your ADC can be 0, 0, and 10, and you can be 10 and 0, and you'll have the exact same amount of gold. That is immense. That is spectacular. In this way, you know, the ADC is actually incentivized to let you get the kill. Because, you know, you're gonna share gold anyway. Granted, you know, you're not sharing XP as well, but gold is the, you know, the big thing here. And on top of that, if you get a kill, you know, you can cast it again free of charge. Or not, maybe not free of charge. I'm not sure. Let's check it again. See if it's free of charge. Yep. Free of charge. Maybe that. Nope, that's not level 3 because he was just level 12. Yep. Completely free of charge. You know, the potential here is just immense. A true damage ultimate execute AoE that doesn't require, you know, prior stacking, and isn't, you know, a reset, and gets full kill gold. This guy, he's honestly like a better version of Darius, in my opinion. Like, he's got everything Darius has, except he has movement. The reason Darius is, you know, counterable is because you can kite the fuck out of him and he can't do shit. Pyke, he's got dashes, he's got blinks, he's got more than one hard CC ability. You know, he's just a fucking... He's everything Darius wants to be and more. But of course, you're trading off all of your health in exchange for just raw damage. So, yeah. Squishy as hell, but, you know, when you have camouflage, when you have all this shit, who really cares? You know what I mean? It's worth it. Look at this. It's disgusting. It's honestly, like, disgusting. Okay. So, like, let's take a look at how Riot wants us to play as Pyke. How Riot believes this champion should be played. As Pyke, you're a cutthroat who cripples and kills all who cross you, which is everyone you come across. Start by stalking your victims with a Ghostwater dive, lurking right at the edge of vision. Resurface with a swift bone skewer to butcher multiple enemies at point-blank range. Hold the blade a little longer to harpoon just one foe instead, reeling them into your territory before gutting them like a fish. Get even more aggressive by rushing foes with a phantom undertow, leaving opponents paralyzed with fear as the rest of your crew closes in. When you smell blood in the water, finish the job with death from below to clinch the kill and cross multiple names off your list. So, you know, they're really emphasizing the whole assassin aspect of Pyke, which is you know, a big part of his kit. But at the same time, the support Pyke, it really doesn't shine through under all this assassin garb that he's wearing, because Pyke isn't a traditional support. Pyke, you know, he doesn't have heals, he doesn't have shields. He has hard CC like a support should, but where other supports like Janna, like Lulu, like all these other supports, they are catered to buffing their ADC and doing things for their ADC rather than being the actual playmakers. Like Pyke is. Pyke is the playmaker in the bot lane. There is no doubt about that. You know. But this also opens up more. His kit, well, maybe not the perfect kit for jungle because, you know, of this health conversion. His clear doesn't look like it's the best because, you know, the reduced damage on the Q. That's what it looks like anyway. You know, he's not really built for a jungle role per se. I guarantee you someone out there will make it work. But as it stands right now, apart from the support role, I'm feeling top Pyke. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm feeling top Pyke very, very good. Just because, like I said before, this guy is everything Darius wants to be, but better. He's got the dashes, he's got the resets, he's got it all. People, like I said, people have been speculating jungle Pyke, but I don't really see it, just because of, you know, how poor his clear looks. But who knows? Next up, let's see how Riot wants us to play with a Pyke. They say death is the best crowd control, and Pyke makes a great argument. In lane, he's constantly angling for the all-in, using hooks and stuns to set up kills. While he can maim foes from any spot in a fight, he's better suited to flank than the front line, so expect him to make more picks than peels. And don't worry if he ends up doing lots of murdering himself. There's extra gold for whoever assists in his vendetta. Pyke likes to kill, but he needs help with his homicides. Injuring opponents by trading and poking is key before Pyke drags them under. Even when he catches an enemy alone, he'll need to take a couple stabs at his target, enough time for their friends to intervene. His high mobility is also offset by low survivability. Pyke is easily punished if he dives deep for a kill he can't quite finish. The Ripper didn't get his name by playing passive though, so be ready for violence at any moment. Basically what they're saying is, you know, it's the argument they make for every single assassin out there. He's got lots of damage, but he, you know, is super squishy. But the problem for most assassins out there with that argument is they can build Bruiser. You know, Talon gets a fucking Black Cleaver, and all of a sudden he's unkillable. But with Pyke, you know, you can't do that. Riot says, no, 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 you can't have your cake and eat it too. Which I think, you know, is a good, balanced choice. But scaling into the late game, Pyke seems like he's not going to be very good in the late game whatsoever. Pyke is, like, let's compare him to Pantheon. He's an early game powerhouse, you know. The longer a game goes on, I feel Pyke is going to do worse and worse and worse, just because his enemies get stronger and stronger in terms of health and resistances, and Pyke can't do any of that. Pyke can get resistances, sure, but resistances are nothing without health. You know, having a big suit of armor is nothing unless you have the beef to back it up underneath that armor. Tips and tricks section, bone skewers harpoon, blah blah blah. Yeah, like I said before. Always pulls you catch the same distance. Yep. Take a second to slip out of sight. Yep. Use your passive sustain. But don't hesitate to swim somewhere and pick up some kills across the map. Yep. So you want to be. They're saying here you want to be active as Pyke. You don't just want to sit in the bot lane. You want to be proactive on the map. You're basically a second jungler for your team, which isn't a bad thing at all considering how good jungle is as a role right now. It's immense. Pyke's influence on a game, especially in the early game, like I said, will be immense. But like I said, also is gonna scale really, really poorly into the late game with that, again, that little tidbit at the end, hey, no bonus health. And that's pretty much all Riot has given us, besides the skins. You know, you got the base skin, which, you know, very cool. Thematically fits Bilgewater, you know, in terms of weaponry, in terms of his attire. You know, he fits the Bilgewater aesthetic. And then you've also got his release date skin, which is the Guardian of the Sand, which is like the like Kha'Zix, like Xerath. Rammus also has it, I think, and I think Skarner has it too, which completely offsets that. You know, he goes from the Bilgewater aesthetic to the Shuriman aesthetic, which, you know, kind of works for him. You know, he's mummified. That's pretty much it. He's got some gold. No longer the big shark jaw for a chest piece. He's got just, you know, ornate armor, which I believe is kind of a shitty skin, not gonna lie. But you know, that's all Riot has given us in terms of Pyke and who Pyke is and what Pyke is gonna do. They're really pushing the active support because, you know, in the current meta, you want lane supports. You want supports that will support their ADC and do nothing else, because bot lane currently is such a powerful role that you can't pass up, you know, getting underfed. But with Pyke, they're going for the Bard approach. They want an active support, a support who is in the game beyond his supporting his bot lane, a support who can deal damage, and a support who will deal damage, building support items. So things like the ward items, things like, I don't know, maybe a Dead Man's Plate. Those are going to give him, you know, even more damage. So you are incentivized to build support items, because most support items do have health as a secondary attribute. But again, he's just, they're really pushing the more assassin side of things. With Bard, they pushed, you know, the support, because Bard has heals, Bard has stuns. Bard can save his teammates with a well-timed ultimate, or he can doom them with a well-timed ultimate. But with Pyke, you know, he's damage. That's all he is. And like Riot said over here, or somewhere, death is the best form of CC. If you can kill your opponents before they can kill you, why even bother stunning them? Well, the argument can be made, you know, Pyke has a stun, and a pretty damn good one at that. But at the same time, you know, just kill them. It's really that simple. Just kill them. We don't know his ratios yet, but Pyke is, you know, he's damage. He is the greatest form of CC, which is death. And I feel like, you know, this will be a welcome addition to the League of Legends cast. But thematically, so far what we know of Pyke, he's he's just kind of there. Like he's got the Bilgewater aesthetic down pat, but he's just kind of there. We don't really know where he intertwines in terms of the lore of people like Misfortune, people like Gangplank, um, you know, Bilgewater champions, Graves, Twisted Fate, even that Swain skin they put in the teaser trailer, not teaser trailer, the reveal trailer. Yeah, we don't know how he fits in. There is, I believe, in one of Misfortune's, either I think it's a comic or maybe even her lore, that she was trying to track down someone who sounded similar to Pyke, like a Jack the Ripper kind of guy. Um, but again, this is all speculation. This is all, what Riot chooses to be greenlit. Um, but I do believe Pyke will be a very welcome addition, and I will definitely be trying him out when the time rises for him to be released on the PBE. But yeah, just like this is an amazing ability. This is just absolutely disgusting. And like I said, I hope they add that indicator to the health bar onto other champions with such executes. Maybe even Darius. That'd be a very helpful Darius tool. Cho'Gath is a big one. Cho'Gath already has an indicator, but his, like I said, is less obvious than Pyke's currently is. Maybe they'll remove that. Maybe they'll tweak it so it's not as obvious. But, I hope they don't. I hope they just improve on other champions who have similar execution abilities. But yeah, that's Pyke. That's all we have so far. And I'll definitely, I won't be buying this piece of garbage skin. I'll tell you that fucking much. But yeah, that's Pyke.